Hi everybody. I thought that I would make this video because I want to talk to everybody about this online teaching. I know that it's been quite a challenge, but I'm getting quite concerned because I have seen some of you just sending a page in the book and asking the children to read it and answer questions. And I don't want this kind of teaching. You ask yourselves, would you be excited if somebody sent you a page to read and then asked you to answer some questions about it? I think you'd get quite bored with it. And ask yourself this question too, would you actually learn anything from that? And I think all of you would say right now, it is no. Okay? So yes, these are difficult times. It's a difficult way to teach, but every one of you I know is a very creative person, and you have ideas that you can utilize. You can come up with ideas. I've seen you do it before. So I've been kind of picking on you one by one, but I just decided that I should just address you as a group. Okay. So I'm going to use one example. One teacher had a chapter in their science book, and it was on solids, liquids, and gases. Okay. First of all, let's make sure that the kids know what a solid, a liquid, and a gas is. And it's great if you want to send a video as an introductory, but even before you do that, I would introduce the subject to the kids and ask them, what do you think is a solid, what's a liquid, and what's a gas? And yes, they'll probably know, okay? But ask them to go around and find some examples of it, around their house, and show you that. They can make a little video and send it back to you. But then you can ask them the question, why do you think some things are in solid state, some are in liquid, some are in gas state? Get them to think about it. Okay? Get them to do some experiments. All right? So, you could take 3 different liquids, different kinds of things, put them in the freezer and see which one freezes the fastest. Why did they think that happened? Or to take 3 solid things and put them out in the sun and see if any of them become a liquid. And which one became a liquid the fastest? Why did that happen? Or similarly, take some liquids and leave them out in the sun or heat them up or whatever and see which one disappeared the fastest. Why did that happen? You see what you're doing? You're getting the kids to actually think about these things. You're engaging them through activities. You might get some older members in the family helping them, and that's great. That's great because they're engaged with their learning as well. They see what these children are learning. Okay? And then if you want to, at some point in the middle of that or after that or, just before, you could send out a video to them. But if you send a video, go through that video and stop it every 1 or 2 minutes and get a question to ask them so that you know that those children are actually watching that lesson and that they are understanding what the person is saying or what they are showing them, okay? Always a good tactic before you start any lesson at all is to ask them, this chapter is called Solids, Liquids, and Gases. What do you know about that? And what do you want to know? And then at the end of the lesson, you're going to ask them, what did you learn? Okay? So you can continue on with that and break your chapters into sections. Those books that you have, those are not to be the entire lesson. Those are tools. Your teaching should be 90% of the content. That book is only 10%. Yes, they have to do the questions and the activities in the book, but that's 10% of what you are actually doing. And that one chapter, and this is a class 3 that I'm talking about right now, that chapter should take about 3 weeks. That topic on solids, liquids, and gases should take about 3 weeks to go through. And that doesn't mean that you just send them a lesson once a week. You're sending them things to do almost on a daily basis. Okay? And if it means that they have to make a presentation, fine. You can give them an extra day to prepare it. But they should be getting things from you daily, little activities. They don't have to be long. They can be short. They can take 10 minutes to do. But send it every day so you are engaging them. All right? And this isn't just for math. This goes for English. It goes for math. It goes for science. It goes for social studies. Whatever the subject might be. You need to be engaging in every topic, every day, every class, and have those kids doing activities. And I know some of you are thinking, oh, that's an awful lot of work. No, it's not. Because you as a teacher, when you send out activities to the children, guess who's doing the work? It's the kids who are doing it. And all you have to do is when they send their little projects to you, it takes 2 minutes for you to check and comment back to them. Your preparation takes some time. You have to think about it. But you can do it. I know you can. Okay? You still have a full-time job. And your full-time job is to make sure that these kids are learning and understanding. And I'm not saying that you have to use the activities that I just mentioned. That was an example. There's all sorts of things you can do. You know, we've been introduced to this game of Kahoot. That's something that you should use at the end of a lesson. It's a great little challenge for the kids to see what they know. What's great about Kahoot is that you can set up the questions and the answers, okay? And you can tailor it to your class. It's a great way of learning vocabulary and all sorts of things. But that's not the only way. One of the best methods that I've found is by asking the kids to prepare a presentation and explain it to me. Recently, in my physics class, I was trying to explain to them how a camera works. And I, sent them videos and, all sorts of things. But in the end, I said, no, I want to know if you actually understand. So I asked them to prepare a chart, make a diagram of a camera, and then explain to me how the camera worked. And they did brilliantly. Okay, I think I shared Annamika's video with you. All of the students who did that did very, very well on it. Okay, your books, the science books have lots of wonderful little experiments in it that they can do. A lot of them they can do at home. Some of them, might look difficult because, we don't have the materials. But you could think of other ways that they could do the same experiment at home. There's so much information on YouTube or Google or whatever that you can find activities and experiments for them to do. Mathematics, there needs to be a lot more instruction there, and I'm seeing very little right now. If you can't explain it in a video, then find a good video that does explain it. You need to be checking in with your kids. You can give them challenges. You can ask them to make up questions to challenge their peers in their class. Okay, there's so much that you can do. You can be doing some mental math with that. You can be looking for, quick and easy ways, different methods of getting to, the same answers. Ask the kids to look it up. They're good at looking these things up on Google or YouTube. Okay, so get them excited about it. Get them interested. In English, when you begin a story in English, my first question, I look at a story and I think, okay, first of all, they need to understand the words. Remember that we're teaching English as a second language, okay? So the first thing that you want to do is to work on the vocabulary. Second thing is to look at the story, read it yourself. and get the kids interested in the topic. Maybe you can find some films or something around this topic. One of the stories in English that was taught a while ago was a story about wolves. So what I did was I found some really interesting videos about wolves and sent them to the kids with a whole bunch of questions attached to them so that they could learn. And, you know, it was taken over from me then, but the next thing I was going to do was ask them to do a little presentation on wolves, on what they had learned about wolves. That's even before we started the story. Okay, the next thing I would do the vocabulary. And I go through the story. I find the words, because if you ask the kids to find the words, they don't want to do that much work. So you need to find them, and you need to find some fun activities to give them those words and, you know, for them to learn the meanings of them. So maybe it could be acting them out, or choosing some words to write a story about, or whatever. So you get some writing practice in there. One story should take about 3 weeks or more to go through. Okay? The last thing that they're going to do is actually read the story. Then we're looking at stuff in the story, figurative language, similes, you know, lines that say, oh, she's as beautiful as a rose, or a metaphor, she is a rose. Understanding what those things mean. We have a lot of idioms in English as well, okay? And you need to understand what those are all about. I won't go into detail about it right now, but if you want to know more about it, please contact me, and I will take the time to explain it to you so you can teach it, okay? And if you need help with it, I will jump in. I will help them, okay? Spelling is important too, so some of those vocabulary words you can do. You can send spelling exercises around them. There is so much that you can do. Grammar is the same thing. It just goes on and on. What I want to see, every single subject, Hindi, grammar, English, math, science, social studies, whatever it is, you need to step up and be a creative teacher and make sure that those kids are engaged and that they want to take part in your lessons this way. Okay? All right. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. I'm happy to help. Okay? Thanks. Bye.